Hey guys, this is Osh and this is going to be my This Happened in January video. Okay, so I filmed my sucky part of January separately. That's been I think I'm going to publish these two together. If you want to know, that why January pretty much sucked in general, then you can watch that, but you don't have to, because it's just heavy shit. And in short, the year started really bad, but I'm working through things, and things hopefully going to be better in the future. That's the nutshell version. There's almost half an hour of, you know, stuff that I talked about, but like I said, you don't have to watch it because there's a lot of people who are going through a lot of horrible things, and you don't need to add on to that pile. And I only shared it because I want to be open and honest about what's going on in my life as well. But yeah, January was hard. I know for a lot of us, it wasn't a new year. Ooh, let's be, optimistic and stuff. A lot of losses in the community, and I'm really, really sorry for each and every one of you who have lost a loved one recently. I can't even imagine how I would deal with it right now, or I will deal with it when it happens to me. I'm here. I know I'm, just a very tiny person on YouTube, and I don't have that close relationship with most of you. But if anybody needs anything, you can always find me here. But yeah, I'll try to concentrate on the more happier topics in this one. So at least I can remember that January had happy moments as well, not just really bad ones. One being that I had to move my tarot space again because nephew is really enjoying gravity, and my brother didn't do what he promised, and he didn't make me a cover for the back of the open bookshelf that I had over there, which you can see. So I don't know why I'm pointing over there. But I know he was busy, blah 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 blah, whatever. Because my idea was to sit there on the ground, have my decks on that shelf deep enough so that my nephew couldn't touch anything that when he walks around. But that didn't happen, and while I was waiting, he started, when he comes into my room, he that's in his eye level, so he always peeked through, and then he started pushing things off, and then first the books, so I removed the books, but then I kept my decks there. I thought that they were far enough, but no. And he, he just enjoyed them falling down. So I was like, yeah, I can't do that anymore. So I moved everything up here, but I still need to go through the decks. It's pretty much right now, it's just tarot, and then I have the oracle decks here, and even James is not in its place yet. But I want to go through the decks and decide about a few, because I know that I'm not going to keep everything. And when I keep, for example, these ones, I'm not going to keep their boxes, because they take so much space that it's annoying. So I'm hoping that this afternoon I will be able to, sorry about this, I will be able to film the collection video. So I'm not going to talk about the new decks that I got for Christmas and a little bit after and for my birthday, because I'm gonna do that in the collection video, which is going to come a year. Ooh, no, a month later. No, what the fuck is this timely Freudian sleep? A week later than the this video. Oh my god. I hope it was just a Freudian slip and not in a way that I'm not gonna be able to post it. Jesus, that wouldn't be fun. So yeah, I already talked for half an hour, so my voice is kind of gone because I'm still sick. My nose is still not healed, so I will have to go to a specialist, which I don't want to. I hate going to the doctors, especially these days. And I'm not even sure if I can actually go because, because of COVID, I'm not sure they deal with these things right now. So I will have to check. But so I talked about aerospace. I have notes and I will try to label parts of the video so you can skip around. Uh, the videos from last month. No, I'm gonna talk about the PC stuff first. So Mercury retrograde claimed my computer, which was fun. And I told Susie that her video on Mercury retrograde was really a big help in order to being able to deal with the situation better, because she said it in her video, and if I don't remember linking the video, I know I'm going to link her channel later when I talk about what I saw on YouTube, so you're gonna find a way to subscribe to her if you haven't already. She talked about how when things go wrong during a Mercury retrograde is not because universe is like, oh, I'm gonna fuck with you, but it's usually something that could turn into so much worse if you don't notice it. So, and the problem with mine, the original problem with mine, was that the SSD was overheating. So I was telling myself, okay, it could have blew up, it could have caught fire, something worse could have happened. But I was like, okay, I lost the SSD, even though it's just 1 year old. I'm gonna get it replaced with a warranty and stuff like that. As it's gonna be fine. And then the whole thing was just weird, because I called the guy, that this is the problem, and then he was like, okay, bring in the PC and I'm gonna check. And then I couldn't leave and couldn't take my PC because I was working. So that was nice, and he took it, and the guy called me, and he said like, he's gonna run diagnostics. It was costly, right? An hour. But I was like, okay. I mean, I was hoping for less money spent on the but if it's that, then okay. And then he was like, he called me back and he told me that the SSD was fried pretty much, and I was like, oh, fuck. And then he gave me some quotes on how much it would take to replace it, and how much their rate for doing it would be. And I was like, okay. I mean, I understand. I'm not saying that they should work for free, but they work. That was really, in my opinion, too expensive. I can't justify the pricing that he was saying. But unfortunately, I was like, but I need my computer because of YouTube, because of what I do. I do everything on it. And I mean, I'm lucky because I have the other work laptop that I could use in the meantime. I was able to use it in the meantime for my library job, but I don't like mixing those two, because this laptop belongs to one company and I don't want the information of my other workplace be on that. It's just not something that I like to do, because they have access to everything that I do on this laptop. So I don't think they would check it, but I didn't want to do that. And I was thinking about, okay, what can I do? And he was like, well, you can get a new one or start, and that would take just more time and money. And I was like, okay, fine, do it. Even though I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, that's so much money. But I was still like, okay, but it's less than buying a new something. And then that was on Tuesday. No, it was on Monday. And then I forgot to ask when it would be ready, because I kind of, from how we talked on what he said, I was kind of thinking that because he was already running diagnostics and stuff, that it's gonna take a few hours, or it's gonna just happen tomorrow. And then nothing happened tomorrow, or the day after, or the day after. So I called him on Friday, to be like, I need to work on it on Saturday. Like, what is happening? And he was like, oh yeah, all the jobs are usually come together on and he finishes with stuff on Friday. And I called him around 10 a.m. and he was like, he's expecting and he's hopeful that everything is gonna be done by the end of the day. And I was like, hoping? Well, okay. But I was like, okay, I can wait. And then he called me a few hours later back, and he told me that, well, it wasn't just the SSD, it was the processor and the motherboard. and he can the diagnostics he was running couldn't identify which, so pretty much the whole computer was like bye. And I was like, okay, like fuck my life, you know. And then he was like, but there's a few refurbished business laptops that came into the shop, and I saw that earlier on Facebook. So, and I was thinking about maybe I should get a laptop instead, you know, and invest more in get a newer laptop. And I was like, okay, and how much, you know? But and he was like, he's gonna send me a quota or an offer. But he had to reach out to the place that refurbishing it, you know, for the offer. And I was like, okay. And then I was waiting again, and waiting. And next week, around, I think I called on Tuesday, not on Friday again. Like, is it gonna happen? Are we still waiting for the offer, or what the fuck is happening? Not like, you know, in this manner, but pretty much. And he was like, oh yeah, thanks for being so patient, and you know, I'm gonna send you the offer. And it was a lot, but in my mind, I was like, okay, but this is a business model, and business models are stronger and more capable of than, you know, just end user models. I mean, that's what always been told to me. That's why they cost twice as much. And I told the guy at least 2 times that I don't care about what I'm getting, but I need the new thing to know as much as the old thing knows. I know I didn't specify it, but he didn't ask. I told him that. And then I bought one of these refurbished, you know, things. And he didn't told me that once I logged into my Microsoft account, which funnily enough, I spent 2 hours to be able to do that when I, you know, took home the laptop because there was an error that I was getting and I had to work around things to be able to do that. And I wish I would have been like, wait, the universe doesn't want me to do this. Because I was just like, you know, relying on information that I got previously that that you can't use fully your laptop if you're not logged into your Microsoft account. That's how it is. So I was like, in order to start using it and to see, you know, how it is, I need to log in. Turns out I shouldn't. I had the local administrator account that I could have used to test out all the programs that I'm using, and I could have seen that it's not as strong as my previous one, and it's just barely able to handling the editing program that I'm using. And when I did the first test run with it, it gave me errors, and it was like, nope, I can't process. You know, I can't process the video you're trying to process. And I was like, I can't believe this. And then I wrote the guy that is there a chance that I can, you know, take it back if it's not as strong or as good as I expected it to be. And he was like, yeah, you can do it in 2 cases. One of them being if it's, you know, not working, it's working. So that was obviously not an option. And the other, if you haven't logged into your Microsoft account, because if you do, then the Windows 10 Pro subscription is attached to your account, and then, you know, it's you lose that, and you know, that warranty, and you can't take he's pretty much not going to take it back if I did that. And I was like, I did that because I didn't know that I could have just tested the laptop without doing that, and I spent a lot of money on it. I could have spent a 1/4 of the amount more and got a really good end user one, or not really good, but a better end user one, because my sister bought one recently for that price, and she's running Windows 11 on hers right now, which means that hers is as that much stronger than mine. And even my old PC wasn't strong for, you know, Windows 11, but I didn't know. And why I'm pissed is because it was expensive, and I don't think it's fair that I wasn't told that I could have tested and I could have said no and took it back. Because that's so ridiculous, but if I would have ordered it online, I would have had 14 days to send it back without any reasoning. I could have just, you know, what the fuck is this flying shit? I could have just, you know, step away from the contract without any explanation, because that's how online contracts are done. But silly me for wanting to, do things locally and support someone who has a local business, I'm screwed over more than buying from a multinational, company online. So now I have a laptop which I managed to find a workaround for the um, exportation problem. I had to install the H.264 codec separately, and now I can save it in MP4 because that wasn't an option before. And when I first tried to save it in MPG or MPEG, I don't know how you say it in English, MPEG, it crashed. Like I said, it wasn't able to do it, and now I can do it, but I can't do anything else when it's working because I'm like, please don't die, please don't die. So that's not fun. And yeah, I mean, it pisses me off because I don't think that he treated me fairly. I don't think, because if I would have been the seller, I would have told him that he has these options. Because if I'm confident about my own products and services, I do that. But yeah, I mean, it was Mercury retrograde, so yeah, what am I expecting? But I know that partially I'm at fault because I should have asked these things, but I trust people, that they wouldn't do this. And yeah, I'm an idiot for that. So yeah, I'm going to buy one someday, but that's gonna take years for me to save up that money again. And that kind of sucks. So hopefully, I will be able to edit my videos in the upcoming time, because I'm still buying that iPad because I want to work on that. I want to use Procreate and create better decks and stuff like that. So I'm saving up for that before saving up for a new phone and then saving up for a new laptop, which is like fun. So it's gonna take me years to get something. And it's just sad because, I always take care of my shit, and I so far I managed to buy something that was better than the previous one, because we're not rich in that sense, and I have a lot of siblings. We're family. Our family is big, so we were never able to buy new things just easily. And I'm not saying there's a problem with people buying or doing that. I'm all for that, and I want to be there. It's just that not my experience. So when I was buying something new, like a new laptop, it always was exciting because it meant that it's gonna be better than the previous one. And in this case, it's just burst. And I started playing Witcher the second finally again, and I can't play on this laptop at all. And I know it's first world problem, but I miss playing. And I couldn't kill the Kraken yet. And sucks. Whatever. That's the Mercury retrograde for you. So, and why I put this before, or there was something I wanted to talk about. Oh, the videos, yes. So I'm so glad that I have this thing that I schedule everything that I upload previously. If I do a video or I shoot a video, I edit, I upload, and I schedule. So even if something like this happens, there's something on my channel. And I was able to, film a Feel Good Friday, even though just on my phone at the first week, or first 2 weeks, I think. But the all-time favorite all-time favorite deck videos went up. And if you haven't seen that, it seemed like people enjoy that. So, just look for those videos. What I did was pretty much sat down with almost all of my decks, because I left out a few that I knew would never have a chance to, be picked as a favorite, and selected my favorite cards from my available decks for the position. And it took me longer to film than I was expecting, or to find the cards. And it took me longer to film. So in the end I published them in parts, because you don't have like, I think the total hours is like 3 hours or something, and no one has that much time. But and I wasn't sure at all if anybody would enjoy listening to me talking about why and how I read a card and what's important for me in a card for that specific position. But turns out people enjoy that, and some even said that they might do something like that. And if you didn't think that I'm gonna do that with my oracle decks, then you were wrong, because as soon as I sort things out, I'm gonna create my ultimate oracle deck as well, because it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be harder, but it's gonna be fun. So yeah, that's gonna come as well. Uh, so yeah, that's fun. That's the fun part. Okay, so I was also doing a lot of cleaning or clearing out. I had this idea last December. I wanted to start and do it during my holiday break, but there was no way in hell. There was no time for that. And I think one of the reasons why January started how it started, because I didn't have time to actually rest during those few days that almost a week that I was off. I couldn't really do anything, but I knew that I want to clean and clear up a lot from my room. I have a lot of books that are just there and I don't read them. I'm not attached to them anymore. Cookbooks and just books. I have a bunch of books that I love. Those are staying, but I also want to free up space, because there's no point in having them here. But what's sad is that doesn't seem like people are buying used books anymore. I mean, I know that when I was young, teenager or early 20s, I bought a lot of books used, because I that was a thing. People sold and bought used books, and I always loved that. I love used books. I love having them more than new ones. But recently I only bought English editions from Book Depository, because it's cheaper to buy them from outside of the country than buying them inside, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, I'm trying to declutter my space in a way, and what helps is that I have finally a closet outside of my room where I can put boxes and stuff that I went through and cleaned up and you know organized away. And there's already so much space that was freed up in the room, and there will be more, which is fun. But at the same time, I'm like, what am I gonna do with these empty shelves? Because I used to store books on them, but now I don't have that much books and stuff. So yeah, but I want to shrink down things, and I will be doing that with my tarot collection as well. There's gonna be decks that will be gone because I don't use them. I don't feel attached. So collection video is coming as well. But when I was doing, when I started this cleaning things out thing, I went through 2 boxes of letters already, and I think I still have one that I need to do. And I was, because I started writing letters again in 2019, I think, or 2018. That was the first NaNoWriMo that I did. And I got at least 60 letters in the first month, in February, because people were like, oh, an address from Hungary, a country that I've never sent anything to. So I got, I was hoping to get like a few letters, because that would have been cool when I was doing NaNoWriMo. And if you don't know what that means, it's international correspondence, or international correspondence writing month. Why is it so hard? So yeah, pretty much what you do is you don't have to send them by post. You can just write notes to people, but you write something every day, and you gave it to people. And when I did the first one, which was the only one that I managed to do the full thing, because I wasn't working, so I had time. I hid letters in the post office, for example, and in the library, and just small notes and stuff like that. I don't know if who found them or what they did with it, but I also sent out at least 20 letters to people, and I published my address on the database as well. And there were a few people who were like, oh, I'm gonna send you because you like similar things that I do. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna get a few letters from people I don't know. And in the end, after the month, I was like at 60, which is around 60, which was like so cool. I felt so happy for people sending me all these letters. And then I kept up with a lot of people for a few years, but then 2020, 2021, I was like, and I stopped writing letters. I haven't written one for a while. I still have a few people that I try to write regularly, but so many letters got lost, so many packages got lost. The post office just screwed us over with this. So, and I kind of, I lost the mood when these days bulkier letters arriving within the EU are still opened by customs. Those letters should not, they have nothing to do with customs because it's from the EU. They should be handled separately. And those are private letters, and they check if anything is inside. But it's none of your business, and I don't have to pay anything if it's coming within the EU. So fuck off. So yeah, I'm not really in the mood to be a big letter writer these days. But I also had a bunch of boxes that I kept when I was like preteen and teenager, and obviously not my replies, just people writing to me. And it's funny because uh, most of them was about I did run a Hungarian Jonathan Brandis fan club. That was my first one, and I remember making, and I don't have anything. I don't have a copy of them anymore. But I did monthly newsletters, newspapers, where the office used to have a program where you could do a newspaper column. You had columns and you could insert pictures and write articles and do that. And I used to do that about Jonathan Brandis. I was translating, I'm assuming really badly, interviews and stuff from the internet and stuff like that, and put a picture in it and sending them out to people. And all they had to do was send me a pre-stamped envelope for the issue, and I really really loved that. And I've had a few letters, but those letters were pretty much about boy bands and pirating music because we were sharing music and songs we liked, and I was copying albums and whatnot and standing out to people because I had the means and well to do that, and they did that for me as well. And it wasn't malicious. It was just like, hey, I really love this song and you would love it too. And then you copied it on a cassette and you send it to people, which had nostalgia and fun. And I do still think that without sharing music illegally, you don't find shit. So I am pissed when big companies like, oh, you can't do that. And I'm like, if no one shares those with me, I'm never gonna realize how much I love them, and I'm never gonna spend a shitload of money after that buying the real thing. So shut the fuck up. And you go to free public libraries to read books as well. So if I can do that, I can do this as well. Whatever. I'm big on sharing is caring. Just what I want to say. But uh, I there was no need to keeping those. So I just pretty much went through them, checked a few, and then burned the whole thing off and away because it was time to go. Time to let it go. And then I burned up quite a few from these recent years where I was just like, those letters were just about surface level things and they just take up space. I will never read them and think that, oh, we used to have such great conversations, because it was just about, they were fun when we were doing that. They were about how is life, which fountain pen did you buy, which ink did you buy, did you like this ink, stuff like that. Which was fun in that moment, but it doesn't carry value in the long run. I have those people that those people's letters that I still in touch, or even if I don't, that I want to keep, but that's just a select few, and I feel better about that. Uh, but there was also something that I never many. I just check my notes that I never fully managed to play. I think because I got sick around the time that started, and it was a D&D sort of game through snail mail, because I had one and I kept it where I was described, the character was described that I was playing, and the word and stuff like that. And I don't know why I didn't play it, because it sounds so much fun. And uh, growing up, no one played, or if boys played stuff like D&D, because girls didn't play video games and games like that. So, and I didn't know anyone, so I never managed to play it. And I kind of sad, because these days, when we play, when we had our week, not our monthly, yearly, what's with me and dates these days. When I get together with my university friends, we play board games, and we really like those. Uh, so yeah, it just kind of sucks that I couldn't play that when I was, a child, because I would have loved that. But I kept that letter that describes, uh, the word and the character. And I think that there were clubs playing this, or these type of something like this, your role playing game in Budapest before the pandemic and whatnot. There's a site that you can register clubs at and meetings. I forgot the name, but I think I saw something like that. And if I don't know, I would love to play. So if you play online and I can join, do let me know, because I never played, but I would like to try that. Okay. Also, something that I found is that I've written letters when I was around 14, 13 or something, to boy bands, Hungarian ones, because there was an option that you could send a letter and they would reply back. And I wrote two of them, and I had 6 or 7 exchange with one of them. I can't find those letters, so they probably stored somewhere else. But now reading it back as a 40 years old, because I had my birthday, uh, both of them were like, and they were older than me. One of them was like 19 and 21. And it's okay, because, I mean, it would be okay, to have 13, 14 to write, because, idols. But when you ask for pictures of these girls, I'm like, why would you ask for a picture of a 14 years old when you're a 19 or a 21 or around that age? Like, my adult brain is like, what? And I don't want to assume that, there was anything sinister. Maybe it was just like, but why would you do that? So I'm like, oh, I find it icky now, really icky. And I don't think I don't, maybe I even sent a picture back. I mean, I probably did. Why wouldn't I? If a boy that you have a crush on, a celebrity, asks for a picture, you're probably gonna send one, hoping that he's gonna like you. So I don't like that. And that's where age difference comes in, and power difference. And I am much more smarter now, but looking back, there could have been so much shit happening that fortunately didn't happen. Yeah, but yeah, so yeah, interesting. So if you have a young daughter, please read their fucking emails and don't think about, oh, it's their privacy. No, they can't protect themselves. You need to do that. And I would do it with my own. My nephew doesn't know, but if his mom won't, check his social shit when, he's young, I'm going to do that, because I don't care. He can hate me if he found out. I hope he won't, because I will attempt to be sneaky. You have to protect children. Children doesn't know, and they fall into traps easily. You have to do that. I do think that it can be a moral issue when we're living in a world like this. You can't do that after they reach a certain age and maturity. But when they are just teenagers and they are children, they can't fucking protect themselves from creeps, and we have to do that. And I don't care about, this is an opinion that I'm gonna keep. Uh, yeah, I don't care. So I talking about that cleaning. Okay, I think only thing that's left is mention a few videos that I really liked. So these are gonna be all linked down, not all tarot related. And as soon as I have my community tab enabled, because I should be getting that soon because I reached 500 subscribers. Woohoo! And that was the reason why I wanted the community tab, because I want to share, videos and channels that I find interesting with you guys more. And hopefully you're gonna, like that as well. But and polls, what do you want to see, and pick a cards, weekly, maybe general readings, stuff like that. But I don't have the community tab, so let's not get drunk on power yet. But first things first, I'm gonna link her channel. Her channel is called Bonafide Bloom, and she released an album recently. It's called Prismatic Creation, and it's a spiritual electronic album. And I mentioned it in a live recently, but when I checked it out, I was like, okay, we're friendly on Instagram. I really like her, and I think she's cool, and I'm gonna check it because but I wasn't expecting a lot because I'm an asshole. But I started listening to the album, and I listened to the whole thing just one sitting, and I realized that because it just helps me calm down. It's very good calming down music, but it's also very good for doing readings. And I don't know if you ever done that. I didn't know previously, but when I was doing a lot of healing work in the first week of January, I listened to the Amazing Devil's Ruin album a lot. And I was doing the reading, and that music was in the background. I was listening to the music and doing the readings, and that helped me emotionally connecting to myself a lot more. And that was interesting because I never imagined that I would be better off listening to music when I was doing readings. Sometimes, not all the time, that I didn't. So that was something new for me. I don't know if do you listen to music when you do readings? I never heard anyone mentioning that, so I was just quite curious. But her album is really good for that. So, and if you just need a music in the background that wants you to be, you're doing something and you need to be calmer or just more grounded. I think that's very good for that. So, linking that down below. Another tarot related was, I mean, okay, Susie Gemini's channel. She started an astrological channel, so do check her channel out. She started to explain astrological stuff in a very bite-sized and understandable way. So let's support her, and it's useful. Another one was a recent Richie Longman tarot video where he and Gerald were talking about the pitfalls and pleasures of tarot too, because Richie has been on tarot tube for a year or so. I think it was or something like that. The anniversary is coming up or something like that. And I think that was a conversation that was very enjoyable, and there was a lot of truth coming out from it. So if you're not subscribed to either of them, do that and listen to the conversation because I really enjoy that. And the fourth one was also, this was on Richie's channel, but the fourth one was on Gerald's Tarot Stash channel with Mark the astrologer, I think that's his name, who needs to start posting astrological content seriously, and Ben from Beneficial Tarot. And they were talking about the hashtag 7 must-haves of my idol reading deck. That's a long hashtag, but I'm going to do a VR because I found that conversation very insightful, and it made me think about how I looked at certain things. Just like one thing that just comes to mind is Mark mentioned that he assigns, because I never understood why certain astrological signs were assigned to the cards, and why it wasn't just one way. Like I learned it in a way But then I heard people assigning Aquarius to the Queen of Swords, and I was like, but the King of Swords is Aquarius. Why is it the Queen? And I tried to find if that was told somewhere that these associations exist, but I couldn't really find it. And just that some people do this way and the other people do that way. But Mark explained that he signs the fixed signs to. No, he said, wait. He said he. Oh, yeah, that he signed the fixed sign to the Queen ones because they are more. Oh, God, I forgot his reasoning. So you need to listen to that video because he explained it why. But that made me think that, aha, I don't do that because for me, no, I remember. I remember. He said that he signs the cardinal. He wasn't using this word fixed. He said that he was signing the cardinal signs to the queens because uh, no, not the queens, to the kings, or because to the kings, yes, because they are the ones who are leading their sign. Okay, that was a long way around, and I hope you didn't lose me halfway. But so cardinal signs for the kings because they are leading their signs and their courts pretty much and suits. And then I was thinking about, okay, that makes sense, to sign Aries as the king of wands because he's the leader type. Okay, but then I was thinking about, but for me it doesn't make sense to Aquarius not be the king of swords. And then I realized that I signed the fixed signs to the kings, and for me it makes more sense because for me the king energy is more fixed. It has that aspect of less flexibility. I see the queen energy as the more flexible one, who could move away, who could find a way better than the king who is sitting there, who sees everything and who can, direct other people, but it's more set in its way, in a way. So I was like, now my system makes more sense to me. And that was a big, like, thank you moment. So go watch this video because I think that was very interesting. And then two videos that are completely not tarot related. One of them is why do cats have vertical pupils? I didn't know. I mean, and YouTube just offered me the video and I watched it. I think that's a very interesting, video. Why pupil shapes are different and what it means and how you can identify if there's a weird shape. What's the purpose for that? So maybe you didn't know that either, so I'm linking that. And something fun because I watch Jolly. I don't watch their Englishman in Korea, the main channel, much because that's not something that I care really about. But I watch their channel, the Jolly, the second channel, and there's Rev Chris who is, if every priest would be like him, the world would be a much nicer place. But they recently reacted to the most wholesome memes. The video is titled British Priest Reacts to the Most Wholesome Memes. And I think that's just, if you need, like a bit of a lift up, you want to feel a bit better, just watch that video because Rev Chris always says something nice about everything. And he's understanding, and even though he has his faith, which could mean that he's against certain things, he's open-minded, he's caring. And like I said, if I would have had someone like him here locally, I would have went to church for sure, but didn't. And I think for most of us, it's a big like, ooh. But it's a good reminder that faith and religion on its own doesn't have to mean you're a horrible person, even though that's most of us experience with religious people. But you can be religious and you can have spiritual beliefs and you can be open and you can be tolerant, and I think it's important to remember that. And like I said, this video was just wholesome to watch as well. So yeah, I think this is all for this month, and it's long, I know, but it's even longer because I left out the crappy stuff. But I will try to chapter it this time and link everything. So hopefully I'm gonna publish it not next week but the week after and not a month or a year later. Or did I say that about the collection video? Yeah, I probably said that about the collection video. But that's coming as well. I just need to upload these and make room for my phone. Celebrate my bleh, can't talk. See, old people. Celebrate my birthday with my family today. Because I had my 40th recently, which was quite a nice day all in all. And it was a nice live stream. So thank you so much for being there or watching it and wishing me happy birthday because, it was fun. But yeah, and I have my birthday deck, which I'm not gonna talk about here. It's gonna be in the collection video, so see you later, bye!